Hello, Joe.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good.
Exciting times, man. Exciting times.
Fucking nuts, dude.
Reports of 22 people committing suicide over Luna failure.
Yeah, I always doubt those till there's like hard evidence of that having happened. But I guess it's very possible.
I mean, a lot of people put everything they have into these things,
Yeah,
you know, which is pretty
I just
foolish.
who does that? I
True
mean,
believers, man.
yeah, but I mean when you see all you have to do is look back like 6 months in fucking crypto and see a failure or a hack or an exploit. Like what what makes you think that this one is impervious to problems? Like, and then when you're on Twitter and you're raving about being a lunatic, supporting UST, and you're piling in on tweet after tweet after tweet with like solid data and analysis of how dangerous this protocol is. Does it? It's just so hard for me to fathom. Not
I
saying,
know, but
oh,
people could
wait
people
a
could say the
minute.
same thing about Ohm. People could say the same thing about Snow Trace, Snow Dog. I mean, it's so easy
Of
to like
course,
go
but
back
did you
and
put all of your money in any of those?
no, I didn't.
No,
No.
no, you didn't. No, neither did I. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
People get desperate and they press.
it's
But hey, it's a tough lesson. I mean, obviously, you're not going to learn it again if you're dead, but that wasn't really meant to be a joke. It was more of a matter of fact statement. They're just kind of funny. Um, but people learn lessons. I mean, I could pick even lessons that I learned in the last run up. When I was like at 28x. And I'm like,
right.
and I learned some lessons on that one. Held some
Yeah.
shit too long that I should have dumped. That my gut was telling me to sell, but I was thinking, no, I'm going to stick around this one. Luckily, I sold some of it,
Yeah.
so I was still up, 15x on what I sold, but still, you still see that money you left on a table, and you're like, eeks. Um, but hey, speaking of Ohm, there was some good news on Ohm. I send a link over, I think that that's actually fully deflationary now because of those inverse bonds.
Nice.
Supposedly, they're saying it's been holding up pretty well in this whole debacle that we're undergoing here right now.
What's
Um,
going on with the price on that bad boy?
but everything seems to have bounced too. I mean, I saw one quote on ETH at 16.99 somewhere, and I'm looking at Binance and I'm seeing 1800, but it's bounced back to almost 2000,
Well,
since midnight.
Ohm's up 7.19% on the day, but
Yeah, take it, man.
it's off from since February 15th. It's down. Jesus, what is that? It was 71 and now it's 14. So
Yeah, it's funny, everyone. Before when I first was talking to Brad before we lit up the live button, I was saying, "Oh, my big joke today was going to be like, oh, looks like Luna finally hit the peg again at $1." And I was like, "Oh no, that's UST. Oh no, that's Luna." But of course, in the last 4 hours, now Luna's trading at below 1 penny.
yeah,
And
it's pretty
some
bad.
Yeah, and the supply, just so you guys know, has gone from a billion yesterday or 2 days ago at a billion, yesterday to 11 billion. Today it's going to 22 billion.
Ooh, it's up to a penny, Joe.
Woohoo!
So it's only down 99.92% in the last
Shit.
24 hours.
Yeah, that must have been all those guys waiting to buy it down 99.99. They came in heavy with their $12 and moved it. Of course, with that $12, they got like 15 million shares or something. But
Did you see the clip? Did we talk about this yesterday? The clip of Do Kwon on a show like a week or two ago.
no, we
So,
got to talk about it. We got to hear this.
oh God, this
You
guy
got
is a
it?
piece of work. I wish there was a way I could play it. I freaking StreamYard just sucks. That I can't like sit here and load a YouTube URL and have it pick up the sound is just so fucking annoying to me.
Hey, speaking of Do Kwon, everyone, he's going to be at Permissionless next week in Palm Beach.
He's not going to show up.
He's a speaker, man. If anybody wants to stop by and say hello. Hey, Do Kwon, or whatever the fuck your name is.
Between the authorities and people that want to kill him, I can't imagine it's going to go well.
Yeah, he's going to wuss out.
He's totally not going to show up for that.
Yeah, it's I can't believe they call that those motherfuckers wouldn't give us a media pass. If you
could here it is. So he was on this interview with I don't know, Alex Botez.
Is that a gal or a guy? I can't tell from this far.
That is a she.
Yeah, I thought it looked like a tank toppy shirt. Okay.
Yeah. And during the course, I don't know if anybody will be able to hear this. Let me put it on speakers and see if we can pick this classic Do Kwon clip, because there's so many though. I mean, somebody the other day said somebody needs to set up an archive to capture all of his with words of
misrepresentations,
wisdom, arrogance.
I wonder how many of these companies you think are entering the space just because it's hot and there's a lot of funding versus the ones that will still be here, like 2 to 5 years later.
95% are going to die.
Yeah.
95% are going to die. But there's also entertainment to watching companies die too.
There's entertainment. Oh man,
Did you catch that?
Yeah, everybody could hear it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, entertainment in watching companies die.
The 95%. Well, you're in that group, buddy.
Now he's amongst the entertainment.
Yeah. Well,
remember fucked company during .com years?
Hell yeah. I had a couple of clients ended up there.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I guess I'll go with a name, realestate.com. I mean, they just papered that site the last couple of days. It was really adding stuff, and it was, this is all open information, but, they basically, had raised a bunch of money, some pretty real investors. And then at the end, when it was all going belly up, they went out and raised, this is open information, I don't want to say anything inappropriate, but from Sandhill Capital, the bastion of funding out of, Menlo Road or whatever. And they threw in 10 million unsecured at the very end. Ooh. And then what the founder did is went off and bought a couple of Ferraris, a penthouse in Buckhead, a house in LA, a couple of skyboxes, pissed through that 10 million in like a week. And then they threw the company into bankruptcy. And I'm like, how do these guys get suckered for 10 million at the very end? I mean, it just shows you the smartest people do the stupidest things sometimes. And in the end, they never went after the money because it was just so embarrassing to them that they got played by this guy. And, but that was all over fuckedcompany.com. Is it still up, by the way? Is that site
no, I don't think so. I don't think it's probably on Internet Archive. Well, I've probably told this story on the show before, but I'll tell it briefly one more time. I had launched a software as a service, one of the first software as a service providers in 1997. And we were acquired.
Was that the fax company? Was that the fax company?
No, that was later. Oh. No, this was a collaborative application platform built on Lotus Notes had a new web interface. Anyway,
Lotus Notes, yeah, goddamn.
So that company acquired 17 web hosting companies, and investors like Microsoft, Merrill Lynch. I mean, Merrill Lynch took the company public. Microsoft, Dell, SoftBank. No minor names. And I was on the team that was integrating the 17 web hosting companies with our software as a service provider for small businesses, this web-based thing. And I was pretty excited. I was like, we got hundreds. We were the third largest hosting company in the world at that point. And this was, 2000-ish. And I was excited because we had this plan. We were integrating all these web hosting companies. We had this massive team. The company was like 1,800 people. And we had money, went public. So we all went public 6 months, after the lockout. I go to my first board meeting, and everybody's bought their house and their cars and whatever they've got from it. And I go to my first board meeting, and, there's representatives from some of the largest companies in the world on the board, as well as one of the largest venture capitalists on the board. And I watched a couple of other guys talk about their part of the business that they were dealing with, and nobody's paying attention. And then I get up, I'm like coordinating like one of the biggest components of this business, this integration of these platforms, and nobody's paying attention. Like nobody is paying attention.
Not paying attention to you?
Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And what I realized is that nobody gave a shit. Like nobody cared because they had their cash. And I went home that night. I sold all my .com stocks and called all my friends and said, if the house of cards is with these companies backing this company, then this house of cards is everywhere. Got out with some cash. So I was proud of myself. The company laid off 1,300 of the 1,800 people within, a couple of months. And then I think bankruptcy came, I don't know, 6 months later, something like that. So
what's the story?
Story is this. Same story, different market. There's no difference. The same pieces of shit are in crypto as there was in .coms, as there are in all of the stock market, as there are in all of finance. There are greedy people that will not give a shit about you.
Well, no, I think you might as well just accept the fact that everyone out there is greedy and doesn't give a shit about you in business.
Well, I mean, you can approach life that way.
Not life, business, money.
Well, of course. And you can approach it that way, but I don't think that's generally true of most people. I think there are honorable people that want to get rich.
Well, how is it dishonorable to when you see the writing on the wall to sell all your stuff? I mean, and not give a shit if you're the company, the Microsoft and SoftBank. I don't think that's dishonorable. They made an economic decision, just like you did, to sell all your stuff and call all your buddies and sell all their stuff.
But
I mean, what's the difference?
No, what I'm saying to you is that at the time, the company wasn't in trouble. The company wasn't in trouble. What put the company in trouble was that nobody gave a fuck, including the senior leadership of that company, and they weren't going to try. Right? There's a company, this is a revenue generating company. There's a company making money like at a scale, but everybody was spending it all as fast as it came in the door and the money that had been backing the company. So it wasn't like they saw the writing on the wall and they just didn't give a shit and they sold. It was, they didn't give a shit because the IPO was over. The lockout period was over. They had their cash and they weren't going to try. That was the point. That was
it was
the issue.
Fortunate that you were in that room and got the inside track on that.
I'm so glad I did.
Now there's actually a good movie, not on a much grander scale, but it's the one, it's not The Big Short. I think it's called Margin Call. I've seen that come up in a feed a couple of times. I watched it a few years ago, but it's all about, one of the banks figuring out Great Recession that the mortgage-backed securities were all crap and they're trying to offload them in the morning. And so they have everybody locked up in rooms. Nobody can go anywhere. They take everybody's phones and everybody's staring down like $22 million bonuses just to keep their mouth shut for a day while they're dumping the whole basket of securities on all the other banks. And then they bonus everybody there too. So it was a pretty interesting story when you see what happens in those crisis modes, because that is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that we're at that level like .com here. I don't think it's like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about personalities like Do Kwon, right? People that, just don't really give a shit or think through what they're doing. And look, there are plenty of those in every financial play. True. I also think there are plenty of really good, honorable people who are trying to do good here and get rich. Like, the people that fault people who are leading projects for getting rich to me are fucking idiots. So, if you're mad that a founder of a project has gotten wealthy from founding the project, you need to get out, because you don't understand how markets work.
It's not easy either.
Take a flying fuck. Because you're right. It's not easy. They're putting themselves at risk. They're working their asses off, and they deserve wealth from that.
Yeah. The front end of these deals are always a total mess. Yeah. And you end up going into the shitter basically to keep it going, and promising your next born kids to get the next thing done, and you just claw your way through it and hope you get to the payday. And most of the time you don't. Yeah. Most of the time. So I don't begrudge any of that. I mean, I'm not talking about Do Kwon here, but I'm talking about a legitimate founder who claws his way through it. I don't fault them for selling at all when the time's right, or trimming. Trimming is a better way to do it myself. But this Do Kwon guy, the fact that he had that failed stable coin,
Yeah.
what was it called? Oasis or Basis?
Basis Cash.
I mean, to me, that's, and I think it was all going at the same time as this one. And I think you highlighted this yesterday on the show that Terraform was doing that at the same time as doing this.
Yep.
And, to me, that's duplicitous. And,
Yep.
I think it violates fiduciary responsibilities to your investors.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing. I think with your story earlier about the fax or the cloud hosting, server hosting company, is that they weren't doing their investors right. Not the retail guys, but the people that really put up real money. If they don't give a shit and run that money to more money or try to, that's breaching fiduciary responsibility.
That's right.
So that's dishonest at best.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a friggin', welcome to the jungle essay, basically. It's a
Hey,
total
Joe,
mess out there.
breaking news.
What?
My daughter got an A on her Chinese test.
Woo-wee, ni hao. Hen hao.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's like
She just sent me a Telegram message. So
go back to her
thought I'd share.
HEN space HAO. Hen
What?
hao.
Oh, Hen Hao?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll tell her.
HEN space HAO. Very good.
All right. So we got Doe. We got any other shit we want to talk about this total mess? This train wreck,
I
this
sent you a bunch of
crisis?
links earlier.
Oh, on this?
On Terra? Let me see.
Let me see.
we
Well, let
talked
me
about
let me load up your links, and you can pick the one that we're going to dive into.
Yeah, we talked about the dilution. I believe.
Well, you sent me a lot of images. I'm going to have to figure out. I'm going to have to pull
Oh.
these in. I've got Kingfisher.
That's not Terra. That's just
Yeah.
liquidation apps.
I'm just loading them up. I'm loading them up, Joe.
That's a good one just to see how much there is. This is the Gemini one denying that they were the source of the 100K BTC loan.
Yeah, it's been interesting. There were a series of tweets yesterday trying to analyze who could possibly pull it off. And the last one in this thread I was reading was saying that it was Three Arrows. Now, we don't know that, but there is zero evidence to that effect. But there's only a few. Well, I shouldn't say there's only a few. There's a number of folks that could pull this off in the world and in crypto. But certainly with that relative, what was it? 4 billion, 5 billion he had to put up to pull that deal off.
I think so. I mean, what's 100,000 times? What do we have? Let's say 30,000. Probably what it was that day.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and let me clarify. I have no proof that Three Arrows did it. I'm just reporting on what was said on Twitter.
Just water cooler gossip, basically.
Exactly. So, but people are discussing it. Alameda denied it. Citadel denied it. Actually
Citadel
came out.
deny.
Yeah, Citadel did deny it. And it does. I mean, it's certainly in character for what Citadel, the kind of stuff Citadel would do, but it's not. It just seems out of character for them to risk that much for this kind of a deal. But anyway, so I guess Genesis is saying they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting to see where everybody's going. It's also spun into another story about USDT is allegedly under attack right now.
Yeah.
And the talk there is, I think I've heard BlackRock mentioned on that one, because remember, BlackRock is basically USDC these days.
Yeah, they've totally invested in USDC.
Yeah, so now they're going after that. And there's a lot of stuff out there how USDT is meeting all the redemptions.
Yeah, I just saw that.
You could go straight to their website and tether.io, I think, and redeem.
I think they had done up to 300 million today.
Yeah. You can go one-to-one there, or you can go to the exchanges and redeem. I did see that Tether was up to like $1.09 earlier this morning.
Oh,
it's one of those pictures.
Oh, it is. Oh, I
think so.
Let me see if I can copy those in. I don't know if I can. Hold on.
So I'm going to kill off the Gemini tab.
Which of the pictures?
Oh shit. Hold on. There should be something.
What's this one? Bitcoin USD coin Tether. Yeah, there it is at 109. I got it.
Yeah. That was a Binance Trading View. This guy's in. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, but I don't know. I know he's in Europe, so that might have
Who?
been like well, you can't see the picture. It
Well,
was
we got
referred-
comments, Joe. Can you take a look while I'm loading this?
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. Something to talk about. Oh, lots of them. All right. I think we have 18. Eamon, think we have 18 decimals on Luna. I'm guessing we see many more digits zero out on it. Yeah. I mean,
Somebody needs to do a countdown timer. Ding, zero.
yeah.
Zero.
I mean, it's at 22 billion now. I mean, dilution.
4 billion overnight. Eamon says they redeemed.
USDT. Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. They're going to make a killing arbing it back to peg. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
SoFon Comics. I must be a new person.
Yeah.
CNBC had a nice slide today of Bitcoin versus NASDAQ drop since January, larger drop risk of crypto tech. Let's see if they show the graph in a year. Yeah, exactly. They don't ever show the upside stuff, just the doom and gloom. I mean, it kind of reminded me, I dug out this old, does anybody remember the crypto crash video of 2018?
I do not.
Do you remember that?
No.
Let me send a link to you. Since you could play the other one, you'll be able to probably play this one. I don't know if I can play it. I'm going to put it in the DeFi Lunch channel.
Eamon said he's been screenshotting the prices of Luna, each decimal that zeros. Dude, that's going to be a great animation. So you definitely have to post that, tweet that.
Okay, I think this is. I just put it in the channel.
He says conspiracy theorists are saying it's Yellen.
Yeah. But you know, it's not. Look, have concerns about stable coins, but it's pretty hard to, orchestrate it that way. I kind of go more for just the old greedy person that wants to,
of course,
take it down. I mean,
of course,
USDC is a favorite of, Fortune 1 or US government. And so you got to think that people would be trying to curry favor, but I don't see like UST as like a big threat. Did you see that one? I thought that was.
I don't think Yellen wants to be responsible for that.
Yeah, but hey, click. I just sent you the link for the crypto crash market video. I mean, it is so funny. You might as well just play it. It's right below.
Artificial intelligence make you money.
Yeah, skip that ad stuff.
I will.
Check out this AI.
I'm glad you're easily entertained, Joe.
Here comes a good one. Here comes a good one. Buy the dip, boom.
I'm so tweeting this out.
Oh,
How did I miss it?
Oh, like this is a good one. Hold on, watch this. Mainstream media fund incoming. Oh, this is good too. Watch this. This is before stable coins.
Don't you do that. Come on.
There's a little more left. There's a funny part coming.
Oh, that's good. That's
brilliant,
freaking awesome. I'm so tweeting that out
today.
today.
Man. I remember seeing that back in
Can we talk about
2018. And I
Oh.
just laughing my
Oh,
ass.
God.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch of shit
Oh.
coming behind it. But damn,
That's
that
great. That
makes me laugh so hard.
Great, dude. Let's see what else we got here.
Excuse me.
That's funny as shit. Where's the ones I just opened from you? Oh, trade Kingfisher.
Yeah, this is from this morning. Let me pull it up on my thing too, so I can see it better. Yeah, this was like 0930 GMT. So what's that, about 4 or 5:30? But what it's showing here, this is okay. The price then was 27,849, and this to the left are the the buy orders in down there. So you see where it's clustered,
Right.
21,000, 24,000, 27,000, and then some at 18. So when price is going down, you'll see those, like if that 27 spike gets big enough that someone wants to go, grab that liquidity, go liquidity hunting, then, you'll see these on the right of the dotted line are all the shorts piled up all the way out. So you can see where people are stacked up. So, as you know, even if you buy a short at 45,000, you put it there and the price moves from 28 to 27, you're making money because that goes
Right.
up in value. You don't have to necessarily be sitting on the price.
Right.
So all these guys are sitting, this wall sitting at 30 to 32. For anything to move up, you got to break through that wall, or something has to change. And so this kind of just shows what's there and what people are be looking for. So when I look at something like this, what do you see?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, but I just saw breaking news. The Terra blockchain was officially halted at a block height of 7603700. Terra validators have decided to halt the Terra chain to prevent governance attacks following severe Luna inflation and significantly reduced cost of attack. The fear was on that it would be very simple for someone to get control of enough validators, and that there would be an attack available to take take the on-chain assets,
like a 51% type thing.
Yeah, it doesn't even take that. I saw something earlier above 33%, and so I guess that's why they're freezing it up. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Back to
I think Eamon's saying, yeah, that was a funny ass video.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at this, if this is your game, if you're like a perps, options, whatever player, you're waiting for these liquidity clusters. Of course, I'm moving the cursor on my screen and it's not that screen. Those three peaks to the left of the price, you want to see those get bigger before you're going to short and take this price down to go get that liquidity, because those are usually stop limit type orders.
Okay.
So they basically wipe them out and then buy it back.
Got it.
So, those aren't looking super attractive if I'm the one shorting it, from my opinion. But those big columns on the right do look attractive. So if I'm got an ability to move the price, I'm going to go try to probably capture those eventually. But that's just the way I look at it. The other thing is that funding rates are negative on Binance right now. I think negative 0.01, which just means that it's weighted more toward bearish. So it's probably because of this correlation here between the shorts on the right and the longs on the left. So I think, my feeling is I think we got maybe we have a little bit of bounce here, but I think we got another. My gut says we might see another little drop down, just to get that capitulation candle. Because when you look at, say, ETH's back above 2, maybe that was it. But, I just have a feeling that there's another little run down before that big V recovery hits.
Yeah. Well, and look,
gut
and I will tell you that, Fred at our firm, Material Indicators, they're still looking at 21 to 18, but are expecting a pretty significant pump based on the data and based on the fractals in the summer. So it won't necessarily be a long-lasting one to all-time high, but this is not financial.
I'm seeing a lot of
research.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of chatter on that lows in October, November timeframe, which kind of makes sense. Pump October is pretty much always an up month, which I'm kind of surprised that that's what everybody's looking at. But that's kind of the contrarian thing too. But I kind of feel like there's going to be a little run up opposite of last summer. I don't know for how long or how far, but I think that you just have too many Fed rate hikes coming that are going to, just take value out of the stock market. Look, it has to happen. But if people panic, if something changes, then you can see that impact be greater. And the reason it has to happen is because when you raise interest rates, you're changing the cost of capital, which is a key factor in calculating net present value of something. So every stock, the stock price is really looking at its share of future earnings of that company and bringing it back to today. So they're really looking out, what's this, pick a company that actually makes money. Let's go with the bank. So they're looking at cash flow projections out over however many years, usually 5 is pretty much the limit, but then you put a terminal value on that for everything going forward into infinity from there. Right. So that, that just changes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can't get enough of that one, huh?
No, I'm about to tweet it.
Yeah, put it on. I just find whenever we're in this type of thing, I just watch that video and it's funny. Yeah. And I think about, okay, that was the apocalyptic vision of January 2018.
Yep. And
where are we now?
Exactly.
We're still 4 times higher in price, I think, than it was then.
Yep.
Or 3.5, 3. I mean, so, the most important thing now is if you're still holding, no point in selling at this point.
No.
Is my
that is not financial advice.
Yeah. Nothing I say is financial advice on this show. I'm just saying what I do.
Yeah.
And whatever you do, I assure you it's not going to affect the price of whatever I'm doing. Because I'm, the market's too big.
Yep.
So I'm just sharing my sort of thoughts. And I would hope that everybody's talking to 10 other people like us to get their thoughts too, and forming your own opinions around those ideas. Because nobody knows. Yeah. We're just all kind of trying to sift through historical data and what we think happens next. And then we'd actually do, solid analysis on the underlying companies in this space that we think actually have a product. Right. So, I mean, it's, like when OMI were in trouble, still are, I guess, we always talk about how there's a big war chest there now to go buy other companies and fund new initiatives. And, what's the difference between that and raising venture capital?
Yep.
There are differences, but it gets to the same purpose. Now, can they execute? And that's what you should be thinking about with OM is, can they execute on that mission? We do the same in the other ones. Yeah. So, we're trying to provide fundamental business analysis on top of gut and instinct and historical patterns. And you see who we pull information from, Kingfisher, Jarvis, material indicators, mainstream media, crypto media, Telegram channels. We pull it from everywhere, and just our general, bullshitting all day with other people's stuff. So, this is just something that I think, and what Brad says is what he thinks. So don't ever take it as financial advice.
Yeah. This is that fractal analysis chart that Fred put out. Cool. It's hard to see the dates because of our banner, but essentially, we're right. Let's see.
Hold on a second. I'm going to just drop this banner for a second.
We're living in this range, and expecting 19.5 to 21.5, and then a pump in July-ish, late June, July-ish timeframe, back up to 31. Dip back down to the 19.5 range, and then October-ish, bouncing back and.
I like that.
High. Yeah.
These guys finally aren't holding back. We're seeing a real fractal for going for that 100K number.
Yeah. So look, fractals are fractals, right?
Sorcery.
They are. But when we have historically published them from material indicators, we have had, I traded and bought a lot of Ethereum based on these fractals last year and did very well with it. So I would just say grain of salt. They're not accurate time or price in detailed level, but the data is matching up nicely. So anyway.
Yeah. And look, is this fractal in your paid subscription service?
No, we do these separately. We're not adding these to the paid yet because they're too infrequent. And we don't
Yeah.
want people loading them up over and over and over again, thinking that it's accurate when right now we just prefer to match it and see and make sure and then publish them. So we usually just give them free in our community.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I mean, look, when I saw you were putting a lot more fractals out like a year ago.
We had a lot better matches then. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like we're kind of in uncharted water now on a lot of this. But, I think we know all the same things are still there. Institutional buyers are coming in like crazy. I think this is a forced sell-off down so that institutional buyers can buy more at a lower price.
Yep.
Once they're all in, then you're going to see it take off.
Yep.
And just remember, you don't see what happens after that 100K mark on that fractal.
That's right.
So, I think
there's another dump out there somewhere.
Yeah. So on the way up, if you're getting in now or you're holding at 58 or whatever, or you're in even lower, do what I said, trim it on the way up.
Yep.
If it gets to 50, sell 20%.
Exactly.
If it gets to 70, sell 20%. If it gets to 90, sell 40%, but remember, everybody's targeting 85 to 100.
Yep.
So to me, at that point, you're going to see the players cycle it back down again. Barring any other force majeure macro events, somebody pops a nuke or something, then, all bets are off. But, I think this is, just be safe if you do it and don't load up based on this. But I'm telling you, the ones what I was getting at last year, I'd always take a picture of those fractals just so I could come back and look and see when it was reposted, if anything had changed. And, me, trust but verify. And I realized it was solid. They held up continuously. They didn't start rejiggering the past numbers. It's every time you put a new one out, it matched up with the last one. So
speaking of which,
right
around this time frame, we may see the merge on ETH. And I just listened to Bankless had a great episode interviewing a guy who started an hedge fund entirely based on Ethereum and nothing else. And the fact that, his belief that the merge is going to blow it up. Really great episode. I encourage everybody to listen to it. But, we could conceivably have something around this area with the merge launching, which could do pretty dramatic things for Ethereum price at that point. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit bad for the timing of Bancor. Version 3 went out yesterday, and of course they're not making any headlines with that news the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. I don't think their timing could have been better unless it was a week ago or week and a half ago. And the reason I say that is Bancor is a much more conservative and solid investment place for people to put their money, like no impermanent loss, decent yields, solid projects that are allowed in. The DAO votes on every project that is and is not allowed in.
It's a DAO now? It's a DAO now?
Yeah, well, there's a DAO supporting the DAO has powers relevant to what projects are allowed onto the platform. And they are slowly transferring more and more rights to the members of the DAO.
So it's like a membership rights or voting rights DAO. It's not actually the platform. The platform's centralized.
No, the platform. The platform is multi-sig wallet, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't climbed into the details of it, but it's a gradual decentralization is what they're doing, right?
No, because I remember these guys are from again, we talked about them in the past when they were trying to get encryption into their onto their platform. And that's when I figured out it was, Draper running it. And, they have tons of money. And so
tons.
I'm just commenting on basically the timing issue you mentioned. I don't think these guys care about timing.
Well, no, but my point is this: a down market is perfect for them. People are scared.
Yeah.
People are nervous. They still want to figure out how to earn money. And this kind of a strong, look, they were the first AMM. They were absolutely the first. And they have just kind of bullied their way through surviving and have kind of continually been this kind of blue chip, smart, conservative yield generating project. And this new version of their platform, anybody wants to just go to missiondefi.com and search on Bancor. I did a really in-depth interview with two really big brain guys, and you're going to be blown away by what's coming out in this project. I'm just thoroughly impressed with it. So, yeah, it sucked that they've been overshadowed on their actual release, but I think their timing is awesome because I think the market's looking for this. And I also think they're perfectly aligned with kind of TradFi values coming in. So anyway, great project, great team. Take a look at it if you're looking for something a little more solid, a little more conservative, a little less speculative in nature.
You know, it's that you say that, it's funny. I saw something out there. I don't remember exactly where, but just recently on the Terra stuff, and all these people doing the woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't thing, or the 2020 hindsight, and they're like, "Damn, I should have known this was a Ponzi scheme with these outrageous 20% interest rates." And I'm thinking, shit, man. I think that's the lowest we've ever touched, basically.
Yeah, there you go.
20%. But it's, I don't know. Bancor, and I can't remember how they're tied into EOS, but what is the Bancor token? Is that BNT?
Yeah, BNT. I don't think they're tied into EOS in any way.
No, because Draper backs both.
Yeah,
So
Draper invested in them, but Bancor has nothing to do with EOS. They are an Ethereum play.
Yeah, but back in the day when the whole speculation was that Bancor was running around acquiring tokens onto its protocol, and they were going to take the whole portfolio into EOS. This is back in 2018.
That would have been a mistake.
Well, obviously, now it's easy to say that, but we didn't do the deal with them too, obviously. But I wouldn't underestimate the linkages between Draper and Bancor and EOS because of the cross-board representation. They're definitely coordinating on things. Not to diminish what Bancor's doing. I'm just saying that because I'm curious.
I would fall over in the middle of the live show to the floor from the top of my standing desk if Bancor launched on EOS. I would be just shocked, just flabbergasted.
Bank from Ethereum to EOS and back again.
Hey, I didn't get a T-shirt.
This is the number one thing on their blog. How Bancor X works from Ethereum to EOS and back again. So
how what?
Fall over. How Bancor X. This is on Bancor's blog.
Are you kidding?
Title, how Bancor X works from Ethereum to EOS and back again. So
they built a bridge. Shit.
Fall over for us.
Fall
over for us.
What?
Fall over and drop dead for us.
I didn't say they're on. They're not. They still don't have EOS tokens on their AMM.
We didn't say that.
Well, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Just because they have a bridge, but what the fuck? Why would they do that? That's so embarrassing.
Because he owns both.
Yeah, but fuck Draper.
Okay. All right, tough guy. We're going to pick a fight with Draper now. No, I'm just saying they're closer than everybody thinks, or closer than you think.
Oh, that was 2018.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When they were going out and buying up listings for their thing or getting companies to migrate to them. Yeah. Remember they wanted 270 grand and another shitload of tokens. So we said,
so they built a bridge when EOS still was a viable project. I get it. That's cool.
But I was saying, yeah, I'd be interested to look at the board representation of both. I mean, who gives a shit? I don't really follow Draper, but my point is just that I wouldn't.
But here's my point. I will do something ridiculous and stupid if Bancor deploys on EOS, their platform.
Oh, I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do. That's not what I said. I did not say that at all. I just said that they're very closely integrated in what they do. And
yeah, you're right. Well, they definitely were doing EOS shit back then. That's crazy.
But so look, in the last 3 years, if you think about it, if you're a Bancor shareholder, you're going to be like, get the fuck away from EOS. Let's go survive on our own. And then we'll come back and buy it if we want it later. Because EOS is sort of stuck in legacy stuff at this point. But, all good.
I stand corrected that they had any involvement in EOS. I'm pretty shocked because, I guess I shouldn't be shocked because it was 2018 when EOS actually looked viable and they had raised what did they raise?
Was that the $4 billion raise?
I think that was the $4 billion raise.
The rolling $4 billion one?
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense back then. But that's why I was so shocked because the rep of EOS is so bad now. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, check out Bancor. I highly encourage it. I'm so impressed with that team. Just blown away by them. Let me see if we had anything else we needed to cover
Own any
from.
tokens?
Huh?
Do you own any Bancor?
Not at the moment, but
Yeah.
it's on my list. I'm kind of waiting for everything to chill out a little bit. I'm still sitting in my stables.
Yeah. Which stables are you holding?
UST. Yeah, I'm waiting to cash that out.
I was wondering if you were, because everybody's going to USDC now for stability. Everybody who hates centralization and hates government regulation.
Oh yeah. No,
Now
I've got primarily Frax and a chunk of USDC that came in paid to me, but
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I like Frax, but I'm curious to see. I don't know if I really agree with the underlying premise about CPI, but I like the guys and I like.
Well, the CPI is a separate project for Frax. So
that's the FPI, right?
FPI token is a separate project. I mean, there's integration in some way, but it is a separate project from Frax, the stablecoin. The USD
I think that's a tough one. But Frax, looks like it's holding up, right?
Yeah, it was. Hopefully, it still is.
Well, ETH is bouncing back. It's 2030 now.
Oh,
so maybe that's the first half of that fractal.
Maybe that'd be awesome. Need to get back
Fred
in.
should charge for those.
Could you let me know if you figure that out?
Do what?
Can you let me know if you figure out if that is what's happening?
Dude. When the show's over, I just dump all this shit out of my head and move on to the next thing. I just use my opportunity to riff and, just provide some dialogue to you.
So Frax yesterday was at 98.9 cents was its low there.
That's
and during the biggest mess. No, that was May 2nd, 98. They seem to hit that 98 cent mark often, but right now sitting at 99 and $1. So it's maintained the peg. Joe, that's all I got. That's all you sent. You got anything else you want to talk about today?
More losses. Coinbase went in the tank this morning again. We're expecting that. We talked about the doubling.
Because it's an overpriced on-ramp, off-ramp.
Yeah, but it is again like USDC. It appears to be like I don't know, maybe FTX ends up being that too. Maybe Crypto.com ends up being that. I don't know, but usually when those things go that low, there's a play there on the equity side.
I definitely think that Coinbase will go back up. The second there's an inkling of a return upwards in crypto, Coinbase is going up. Everybody will all the people that want to be in crypto will buy that.
It's an easy one because if somebody doesn't know how to do wallets and do that, they're like, oh wow, it's like buying crypto by proxy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what will happen. I think it'll return to more, high levels once there's a bull market in effect, and more power to them.
Yeah, it's the only game in town for the Americans.
I did read that what's his name? The CEO, Brian Armstrong.
Yeah,
dropped from 14 billion in net worth to 2.2 billion this week.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like he's going to be shaking everybody else down for lunch money now.
Sucks for him.
It's probably all locked up too, I'll use it to collateral, because usually what you do in that situation is you borrow against it, just like in crypto, to go buy your little fancy house and your cars and set up trust and do all the other stuff to lock yourself in so you never can lose the money.
Right.
So he might be a little cash poor right now.
Yep.
It's a couple of billion stake somewhere. Who knows? Look, if he didn't already sell some and set himself up, he's stupid.
Yeah.
If he didn't do that.
I think I remember him selling some around IPO time, if I'm not mistaken, or I guess after the lockup. I don't remember. I know there was a bunch of hullabaloo that the COO and the CFO, I think, both sold nice, massive chunks.
There was a company that I was involved in back in just before the .com crash started and they went public. It was sort of the last hurrah of that. And I was in the friends and family round and, right pre-IPO. But I can remember that one of the guys on that team was in the middle of getting a divorce. And so they basically were allowed to sell some of their stuff going into the IPO. You know
Right.
how the banks work is they price the IPO at about 9 p.m. the night before it goes out, the final pricing. And they sell, they basically buy all those shares then from the company, the bank's holding them. Then they tee up all their best clients, wealth management, anybody they're trying to throw a bone to, anybody they're trying to cultivate for future business. They let them get in on an allocation of some of those shares. And so they all, so let's say the price is going to be 16 and maybe they're buying them all from the company at 8. So they throw everybody, their best clients in at 9. And then these guys get to sell out in the morning, no restrictions, of course, at 16, pocket $7 a share for what? Less 8 hours work or 8 hours of sleeping. And, they're off to the races. So this guy, he had sold a big chunk, like almost his entire stake pre-IPO, wired the money out of the country and split. And so then,
shit.
yeah, just like that, because his wife was going to take half his shit.
Right.
And so he was, I think he was Russian. And so he blew out to head back. This is when they were friends with us and, was gone. So, he did his trim in the sales, but that wasn't public knowledge. So what do you think institutional guys would think if they go, oh, hell, one of the founders is dumping all his shares going into the IPO?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you guys in the conference room.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's
So
like, fuck this. I'm out.
Terra just announced that the Jerome Powell is applying a patch to disable further delegations and will coordinate to restart the network in a few minutes. I mean, validators are applying a patch to disable.
Validators are applying a patch to disable further delegation. They'll coordinate to restart.
You can plug in the Fed for validators whenever you want.
Why do you say that?
I'm just saying it's just centralized shit. They're so out of control at this point. They're
Terra or the Feds?
Terra.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Printing Luna, trying to control the blockchain.
They're just trying to get some little bit more exit liquidity in so they can cash out.
This is such a fucking meltdown. I mean, look, I appreciate that I have to be fair. They're trying to protect the on-chain assets, right? So I get it. It's smart. I just don't know. I mean, look, this is going to be a fucking carcass rotting in the desert. It's not going to be. People still trying to hopefully save this thing are incredible. Yeah. I mean, look, it could limp along and, a year from now, there's some, little corner of crypto with the cult supporting it and paying 19%. But I can't imagine anybody doing business with this project.
I'm just waiting to see Cardano go down too. I mean, there's a lot of jokes out now. I'm just reading this. It's kind of been going up a little bit. And somebody made a joke. It says, yeah, ADA is almost working. That's why it's a $16 billion market cap.
That's great. Slendo says, it does beg the question, how decentralized do you want to be when shit really hits the fan and you need to think/act quick? No, I think that's definitely a consideration in the concept of decentralization. But the ability to react fast when shit hits the fan is also potentially the ability to screw shit up. And I think code is law is dangerous. I also think humans having control is dangerous. Who knows where we're going to end up as we evolve on this whole idea of decentralization. But I do think that there's a place for a core group of 5 or 10, 11 people that make decisions in emergencies, and that can be part of your DAO governance, right?
That's a good point.
Shit's hitting the fan. You have an emergency council that can come in and say, here's what we're going to do. You just don't want it to be Do Kwon. That's all. So
yeah, that's what you have to almost like a board of directors, but you have to balance it with a lot of outside people that aren't, maybe they have a position in it, but they aren't employees.
Right.
So you need those, you need other people on there, those guys that can pony up big money if you need it.
Right.
On that moment. So I think that's always true. There is this balance out there between centralized and decentralized, or it's not there, I guess is what I'm saying. But the spectrum is fully centralized, fully decentralized. And we're obviously always kind of going to be in the middle, other than I guess Bitcoin being, the only one that's really decentralized, right?
And you've got projects like Liquidity that launched radically decentralized. Like there were only minor tweaks that they could make to protect the network, but everything else, once it was out, right? And there are people that are still experimenting with how decentralized can we be. To me, look, the beauty of all of this, even Terra's failure, is that we're still figuring it out, right? And we're doing it transparently. We're doing it open book. The world can see what we're doing. And that's not what you get with any other part of the financial network in this country, in the world, I should say. And so to me, people not in this world are like, what the fuck, you people are crazy. But the only reason it seems so crazy is that this is a massive evolutionary experiment happening in real time. And it's going to be messy and ugly and painful.
With $18 billion or so.
Exactly. Look, this one was total cult, total irresponsible, total clusterfuck. But, it is what it is. Here's the thing. The people that got burned, some percentage of them are going to be less likely to invest in the project with the arrogant leader, right? That blows off everyone that warns them of problems.
The cult of personality.
Yeah. And so there will be some people that learned that lesson this time, and they won't. The next time they'll be like, oh shit.
Think about it though. I mean, there's such a thing about community building in these plays, Telegram channels, whatever, Discord. Think about it. It's the Ohmies, right? The Ohm people, they're Ohmies, right?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes,
Ohmies. So there's the cult of Ohmies, and there was Frog Nation.
Yep.
And now we have the lunatics. I mean, there's plenty of other ones, but look, I mean, I don't want to call Ohm a spectacular failure at this point, because I don't think it is. It is for investors, but it's not as a company. I mean, Daniel Sesta and Frog Nation, I'll call that a spectacular failure. This one, spectacular failure. So I think there also has to be some balance between community building. How do you engage people in a community, without turning into this cult-like thing?
Yeah.
Where, they're taking mortgages out to buy this stuff. They're going away from diversification and going into, basically double and tripling, quadrupling down on one asset, one play, because somebody is saying that, creating that fear of missing out concept where they're like going to kill themselves if they sell it up 6x and then it goes up 6,000x. Well, the answer is don't sell it all. I mean, don't sell it all.
It sounded like you said don't sell at all.
No, don't sell it all. Sell some. I say this constantly.
Yeah.
And don't believe any of these people. These people don't know. And this guy, Do Kwon, he doesn't know anything more than you do, other than whatever the fix was or the scam or whatever he was trying to do. I think he was more like those, what was that show that used to be on Wide World of Sports where they do like the lumberjacks spinning on the logs in the water, trying to like stay on, that's what he's doing. And he's saying anything he possibly can to keep that log spinning and not fall off.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a master grand plan to fuck everybody over out of 18 billion.
Right.
But I think when the shit's hitting the fan and it's me or you, he's thinking it's going to be me.
Hell yeah.
And now he's trying to that's human nature. So don't trust, or trust but verify. Any of these. And when you start putting brand names about, fan bases and fanboys for certain financial investments, that's when you need to kind of like go, wait, okay, I've seen this play before. Anyhow, my last words of advice.
Awesome.
And, let's see.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Please, if you get a chance, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. Click the little bell on YouTube so you get notifications when we put out a new episode. Also, if you get a chance, please feel free to comment on the episodes that are up there. And we appreciate you. So, Niblets throws in something about Harry Yee. We're going to bring in all the arrogant assholes today.
Yeah, Tomb Raiders.
Yeah.
So is that about going after those Tomb contracts? Is that what that is?
Yeah, no, he's talking about how he went in, took over the other competitors to Tomb, tried to crush them all, screwed over his investors, and all that shit.
TVL's down 90%.
Thank you, Slindo. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening and watching. Please subscribe, rank, review us. If you have any thoughts, comments, ideas, projects we should talk about that you think are innovative or cool, please don't hesitate to message me at B05Crypto on Twitter and Telegram, B05Crypto #2143 on Discord. Brad out.
Thanks, everyone.